Hey everybody, welcome to the WrestleZone.com weekly road report. I'm Joe Dombrowski, and it is my pleasure to welcome our guest this week. You saw him if you watched Total Nonstop Deletion and Tag Team Apocalypto this past week on Pop TV. He is one half of the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton, and this interview was recorded before Total Nonstop Deletion was shot, so we didn't get to talk about that, unfortunately, but wanted to save this interview till right now, so anybody that got a chance to see Ricky and Robert back on national television would maybe get a better idea of what Ricky's been up to lately, and a lot of great things Ricky's proud of, and let's go to that interview right now. This is Joe Dombrowski for WrestleZone.com, the WrestleZone Weekly. We are here in Morton, North Carolina, and it's my esteemed pleasure to be joined by a legend in this part of the country and certainly all across professional wrestling. Arguably the greatest tag team wrestler of all time, one half of the Rock and Roll Express. He is Ricky Morton. Ricky, thank you for joining me.
Man, thank you. But you know, I'm sitting right here looking around the building, and even if you're a wrestler or if you're a fan, just look around. We're in Morton, North Carolina. We've got a show here tonight. Ric Flair is about 8 feet from us. Ricky Steamboat is right beside him. Beautiful, like Cody Rhodes, standing up there in the suit.
Yeah. Can't forget about George South, the infamous George South is here.
And I got to tell you, I'm just looking around, and it is unbelievable in the atmosphere. You could tell it in the air already that we're going to have a great show tonight. You know, and that's just from the years of experience and understanding that something amazing is going to go on. I can feel the electricity in the air.
And you're still causing a lot of that electricity. So many years later, you and Robert Gibson, you're still busy every weekend. You're still in main events. You're still stealing shows. Did you expect that you'd still be here in the ring in 2016? And what's the secret to the longevity?
Well, you know, that's a hard question to ask, but you know what it is, and I can tell you this, and you know, people tell you, you hear this old saying, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. Well, that's a bunch of bull crap. I come here and I work every day, and it's hard. You hear Ric Flair in the background, but it's what it is. It's what we do for a living. Everything is based, you know, even though I'm 60 years old. I just turned 60, by the way, yesterday.
Congratulations.
And, well, thank you. And you got to, I still depend on wrestling for a living. Wow.
That ambiance is in the air, Ricky.
Yes, sir. And that was the real Ric Flair that just did that. So, but, you know, that's what we do for a living. When you depend on this business, you know, and Robert and I, we still wrestle together, and we still have the same magic and the same chemistry we had 30 years ago. And see, another thing that works out good, too, you have a lot of young wrestlers, which everybody's great. But they forgot about the old fans. And when you come to towns like this, it's where the old fans come. You know, they come to see the Rock and Roll Express. They come to see Ric Flair. They come to see Ricky Steamboat. And then you have your other guys here, Cody. You have your younger fans that come to see Cody Rhodes and other guys that you have here on the card. But that's just what we do. You know, I'm not a bodybuilder, but I keep myself in shape and I work out and everything. You know, matter of fact, I have my School of Morton down in Chuckey, Tennessee. I'm on Facebook under School of Morton. Anybody that's listening, you haven't checked it out, just check it out. And it's not only about me teaching kids about wrestling. It's about teaching them about how to make good decisions and a lot of other things in education. You know, and it's like I told some of my kids the other day, when you come in and you meet, you do not even understand how far a yes sir or a no sir would take you in this world because you don't hear it much anymore. I have a son that's 15 years old, and buddy, he's great. You know, my dad was a wrestler too, and I started out in this business, and a lot of the guys to me, and it's not about them coming to me telling me, said, Ricky Morton, your son's going to be a great wrestler. He's a great talker. He's because he's in acting and all this. But the greatest compliment is when Ric Flair comes up to you and tells you, man, your son's got the greatest manners of any kid I've ever seen in my life. You see, that's a compliment.
That shows they were brought up right.
Well, it's a compliment to me.
Yeah.
And that's what the world needs more today of, just a little bit of understanding, a little bit of respect.
I had the chance to do play-by-play when you teamed with Kerry Morton back in the Legends Fan Fest against Bobby Fulton and his sons, and that was wrestling history in the making to me. That was almost not even a changing of the guard, but just the elevation of the next generation, because you and Kerry, you looked like two peas in a pod, as the old expression goes. He had that rock and roll energy. He had that rock and roll spirit. Has it been tough on him being third generation and knowing he has such big shoes to fill?
Well, sort of. Yes. And everybody. If I tell you no, it's not true. But one thing that I did with Kerry, and our business has changed a lot. And one thing that it's changed a lot about, I don't believe in old school. I don't believe in new school. I still believe it's called the right way. Understanding now is a lot more. I put him into acting school. Matter of fact, he has been in Les Miserables, sings all the way through it. He just did Rock of Ages, and now he got the role that he wanted. It starts in Bristol, the Downtown Theater, coming up in November, Little Women. He got the main role in that, buddy. So, not the main role, but the role that he wanted.
Sure.
And he's really excited about that. But see, understanding the part about being on your stage presence and talking, that's more important now.
Right.
Than it is.
And it seems like he's a natural performer.
Yeah, and and a lot of the guys today, you can see, once they play the music and come to the ring, the match is all over.
Right.
They don't know whether to whine or butter, scratch or watch. To tell you the truth.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your day and the what I consider, and many consider, the golden age of tag team wrestling. You had the Rock and Rolls, the Midnight Express, the Andersons, the Russians, the Road Warriors. Tag team wrestling really hasn't been as spotlighted in the past 10, 15 years compared to your era. What's missing? What are the tag teams of today not doing that you did?
Well, one thing it is, and understand me, in our day we didn't have contracts. It depended on everybody to work with each other because we got paid by how many butts were in the seats. Now, see, that's a big difference, and I get to this, and I'll come back to later on and answer this question to you. But you see, then you had the Midnight Expresses, you had the Andersons, these were guys that we wrestled every night. In our day, you could not get into business unless you were a great performer. And I say performer now, back then you would say great wrestler. If you wasn't great at what you did, you wasn't there. Nowadays, guys are pushed way ahead of their time, and they really don't understand. A lot of them don't even know the history of professional wrestling. It's like I asked somebody the other day who Ken Lucas was, and I don't know if you do. Ken Lucas was one of my first tag team partners. And I made a thing to him. I says, now listen to this right here. You go to any football team that you want to, just walk up to the right guard and ask him who Johnny Unitas is. He'll tell you the answer to that.
Yeah.
Okay? But why can't you tell me the answer who Ken Lucas is, which was a great part of our business, one of the greatest baby faces in our business, but you don't know the history of it. But another thing that comes back to his mind is everybody's based off contracts, and everybody wants to be that number one guy, and they're afraid if they sell, it might hurt them. They don't understand. It's like sometimes I want some matches. I'm not knocking nobody. The times are different, and I talk good. It's like my wrestling school. There's good wrestling schools, but everybody's school's good. You hear me? It's just the time. Everybody. If you have a great trainer, you're going to learn good. But when it comes to that, they're afraid to sell, or they're afraid to do something that, that's going to make the partner, it's like they're in competition with each other. I tell you a great tag team that I really love is the Revival. Okay. At NXT. Have you watched these guys wrestle?
I haven't seen a lot yet.
Okay, if you watch them wrestle, you'll understand they work together. And that's the reason they're doing real good in NXT, because now they're showing the people how really good they are. And they're great wrestlers, buddy. And they put all that together as working with each other in the ring. So to get back to answer that right there, it's no I in tag team, I don't think, is it? Okay, so you got to understand, you got to wrestle. Buddy.
Exactly.
That was my thing. In my time, my job wasn't to go out there and see if my drop kick looked good. My job was to get the heat on me and give Robert a hot tag.
The emotion.
Yes, that was it. And my job was to make the people believe what I did in that ring was real. And then the guys that were working with me, they didn't knock my brains out to make the people do it. I knew what I was doing. Right. And that's what I'm trying to pass on to the next generation. That's what I'm trying to pass on to these younger wrestlers, to make them understand what our business is about.
Well, you're the best person to do it. I mean,
Well, thank
it's
you,
been
man.
named after you. Everybody says you're going to play the Ricky Morton in this match. It's still to
Okay.
this day, everybody is just, when they think of tag team excellence, your name is one of the names synonymous with it.
That's a great compliment. I appreciate that, buddy. And man, and thank you for having me on your show. And I'm not trying to cut you short,
No, not
but
at all.
it's always a great pleasure to be out here and have people to listen to you, that especially that's fans of our wrestling business and wrestlers that's in our business, to understand. Take time, learn the history of our business, and it'll make you understand it a lot better. Thank you, buddy.
So you're going on record as saying the Revival is the next big tag team in the business today.
Oh yes.
Are there any other up-and-coming stars you want to give an endorsement to right now very quickly before we
Well,
wrap?
I mean, there's a lot of good guys, but no, them. Well, oh yeah, you got the Heat Seekers, Elliot Russell and Sigmund. They're a great tag team. One of my guys, one of my favorite boys that I trained under me is Chase Owens, which he's in the Bullet Club over in Japan right
Yeah.
now. Unbelievable. It's seen. I taught them not only that we're in the entertainment business, we are professional athletes. All right,
There you
conduct
go.
yourself right.
It's the School of Morton on Facebook, right?
Yes, sir. Chucky, Tennessee.
And be on the lookout for Kerry Morton coming to a ring soon near you
All
with
right.
Daddy Ricky as well. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, buddy.
Again, that's School of Morton. Look it up on Facebook. Look up Ricky on Twitter as well, I believe. And great to see Ricky still very active. Proud of his school, proud of his family. Son Kerry doing a great job. And wishing many, many healthy and happy years ahead for the Morton family. And also want to wish all of you listeners a happy and healthy holiday season coming up. This is the final road report before Christmas. And next week will be the final road report of 2016, because we are going to be joined by none other than Jason the Gift Kincaid. He's going to be my guest on that broadcast, and I hope all of you can check it out. Jason has made some headlines lately, recently announcing his signing with WWN, most specifically and prolifically Evolve Wrestling. Jason's one of the most unique talents I've ever seen, both in the ring and out. And we'll get a little bit of a peek inside his brain next week on the program, before you can see him on many future events under the WWN banner. Of course, my website is joe-dombrowski.com. Pick up some last-minute holiday gifts, DVDs, rare collectibles, action figures, memorabilia, signed merchandise, and a whole lot more. I'm off the road till early 2017, and trust me, I am not going to complain about this 3 weeks off. I've been on the road every single weekend from the middle of July up until now. I'm very thankful and appreciative to all the wrestling promotions that utilized my services throughout 2016. All of the wrestling conventions and other endeavors and outfits that allowed me to appear and do my thing. And every opportunity I've gotten, everybody I've gotten a chance to work with throughout 2016, which has been probably my busiest year yet, just as far as miles traveled and matches called. And this 3 weeks will recharge my batteries, and I'm going to be ready to give it hell again in 2017. Already some pretty big things going down on my calendar, specifically February, March, April, and May. Going to be some really cool things going down. I'm looking forward to sharing with all of you as well. I'm looking forward to sharing my interview with Jason Kincaid with you next week on WrestleZone Weekly's Road Report. Thanks for listening.